Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, man. I'm so excited to bring you today. I'm out here on Lake Ontario and I want to show you my 1-2 punch for smallmouth fishing in clear water. Man, I think today could be epic. I got high hopes for it. You guys might want to watch this episode today.
From the top of the mountain, yeah, we float away to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we float away to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain.
There's one. Oh, guys. This is one of the greatest things on planet Earth is what's on the end of my line right here. Because they never quit fighting. They are vicious like piranhas. And they pull, I mean, I just love it. I mean, it is one of my favorite fish catches in the world. Golly, he is acrobatic too. All right, guys, so this fish, we talked about a 1-2 approach. Is there another one right there? And what that is, my number one bait, or my bait one choice is a moving bait. It's one that I use to find where the fish are at. This fish right here is gonna be on a synthetic jig. It could be a spinner bait, it could be a jerk bait, it could be a swim bait. I've got all those tied on up here. You have to figure that out for the day. And then we'll get into the second fish. Come here, buddy. He is not a big one, but you are a show opener for Project E. Awesome, 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 awesome. Sweet. Aren't they beautiful? Just look at the colors in that thing. Just amazing. Just fat footballs. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. That is my first fish ever in this part of Lake Ontario. I'm out here at the mouth of the St. Lawrence Seaway. I've never fished out here, ever. That's my first one. Cool. All right, so now I'm throwing this little hair jig as my search bait. You know, so maybe I found an area here that's got some fish. I'm gonna throw it a little bit more and see if we get any more bites. But you've got to have a search bait tied on because it's a vast area out here. And for me, I want something I can cover water with till I find those fish. Man, I just saw a big one, guys. I went right over the top of him in 6 foot of water. They're not really biting today. One of the worst conditions I feel like you can ever have in the smallmouth world is clouds. I just don't like clouds. They are sight feeders because the water's so clear, and they don't see my bait, I feel like, as well on these cloudy days like this. Probably should have dropped. You know, when I talk about the 1-2 punch of my baits, you know, I've got moving baits, and then I've got 1 or 2 baits that I can throw out there and let go to the bottom. You know, a Ned Riggs one, a drop shots one. I happen to have a Wacky General on right here. I probably should have picked something that'll get down there a little bit quicker. Generally, I like to drop shot the Ned Rig when I'm in deeper water. I like the Wacky General, you know, in shallower water, you know, 4 foot or less. You know, it's a little deep here to try to get this one down there. There's about 20 different black spots down there, and only one of them's, did he bite it? Oh, it's so hard to see. So hard to see, guys. That's so critical, just your eyes when you're smallmouth fishing in this clear water. Because you can see so many of the spots where you can catch a fish. If you don't see the fish, you see where to throw. Yeah, I got him. That is why your eyesight is so much of everything. I just happened to see that fish swimming. I've been throwing my hair jig, and this is the number 2 of the punch. You know, you've got to have a couple baits that when you have a fish follow you in, or you see one like I just did right there, that you can throw out in front of them, because these fish, you know, are such visual feeders. You need something that'll get down to the bottom. So, you know, you've got a moving bait. You know, so far today we've caught that first one on that hair jig, and then I've got the Wacky General right here, and I got me a smallmouth. I love these things. I love them. I love them. I love them. Brown beauties. Oh, come here, babe. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, you little turkey. I already took a shower this morning, but I just took a whole another one and another one. Oh, come here. Come on, come on, come on. Come here, bud. They don't ever give up, ever. And I really shouldn't be hand lining. I like to keep my rod as tension on that thing. Come here, come here. Oh, what a beautiful fish. I almost had him. All right, I'm just gonna have to get down here. Got him. I got him, I got him, I got him. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that an awesome fish? Look at that, that hook just fell right out. Wasn't even past the bar. Look how wide that tail is. Just cool, cool fish. Yeah, I love it. All right, buddy. Have a good day. Look at it, you can see it right down there. Oh, it's like bathtub clear, bathtub clear. So we're talking about the 1-2 punch, you know, a moving bait and then having something to follow that up with. So many times you'll have a fish follow you in, or you'll really, you know, the water's so clear, you can see so much of the stuff and see so many fish. You've got to have a bait that you can throw out there and just let it go to the bottom in that specific target that you're trying to fish. I'd love to talk to you more about it, but I got to get another bait out because I want to catch another one. That is my second Lake Ontario fish. I fished Henderson Bay one time in a cup event and didn't do very good, and it's a pretty long ways away from here, so kind of cool, kind of cool. I fished that St. Lawrence Seaway a bunch, but I've never got to get out here on Lake Ontario, and it's really too windy today to go out to the islands. You know, I'd love to do that, but all right. Okay, so we've caught a couple fish, and you know, if you're anything like me, or the first time that I ever came up here smallmouth fishing, and you just see this place, it's so massive, and you're wondering where do you start. One thing, you know, I kind of feel like throw the shorelines out of the equation. I want to find offshore shoals, you know, anywhere on my map that you know, it's shallower. And you know, this time of the year, it's right at the very beginning of July. You know, fish are still spawning. You got to think, you know, Lake Ontario is really deep, cold. I think they spawn, you know, some of them start in May and some of them spawn all the way through August, through different times of the year. So you can always start shallow and generally find some fish. There's smallmouth that live shallow year round. And it may be 2-3 foot of water on top of some of these shoals. It may be 5-6 feet of water, 7 feet of water, but find you some shoals, and then within those shoals, really target like isolated rocks or open sand patches or things that look different that you can see with your eyes. That's a really critical component when you get out here. But looking for a place to start, find some shoals on your map. Get you a good map. You know, I've got the sea map in here. You know, Navionics is another one. Find you something that'll show you those offshore shoals. I've never been here before, didn't know anything about any of this, and I'm randomly going down these shoals, and that's how I've caught these 2 fish. So it works. That's just how you got to start. I'm not going to go up and try to fish these shorelines. You know, if you come from down south and you're so shoreline related, get that out of your mind. A lot of this stuff happens in these offshore shoals, but it's not deep. It's, you know, 2 to 8 feet of water. One thing I like to do on my little hair jig here, my haribou, the fly some people call it, you know, to catch these smallmouth, is I'll take just a max scent worm and I run it up on the hook shank, just like that right there, and then I'll just cut it off right behind the hook. A couple things that does, I'm adding you know, the beauty of that max scent, but it adds just a little bit of weight to that thing to make it throw, you know, just to where I can throw it a little bit better. And you just really can't even see it in there, but it's added weight, and I don't know, I just like doing that. I just saw one, guys. I just saw one. I always like to throw away from my boat, just to get his attention away from my boat. Oh, I forgot to set my drag after that last one. Oh, goodness gracious. He's under the boat. What I was trying to say there, so I got pretty close to that fish, and to draw his attention away from my boat, I always try to throw, if I can, if I have an option, I want to throw like to get him to point away from my boat. And it worked that time. It was a big one. I love it. I mean, it's just, where else can you go? You see one, and you throw a bait out in front of them, and they try to kill it. They just, oh, it broke me off. Gosh, dang it. Oh, he got me in that rock right there. Oh, it was a big one. Dadgummit. Dang it. Dang it! Dang it! Ah, that's one thing. You got to retie, like, a lot. And I didn't do that. You know, I caught that fish earlier on that, and I didn't retie, guys. My bad. My bad. I sure wanted to show you that one, because it was a big one. Well, let's take the time right quick, and I'll just show you what I use here. I've just got a little, I don't know what number hook that is. It's the size, a little bit bigger than my thumbnail. It's a Berkeley Fusion. I think they call it the drop shot hook. I'll look all that up, and I'll have a link at the bottom of the video for you on what hook exactly that is. It, in my opinion, is the best one. It just, you don't lose them on it. Watch, I'll lose the next 5. But it's an awesome hook. It's such an awesome hook. All right, that turkey. Dad burn it. That stinks. Oh, gosh. I finally got that fish's attention. I had to move it a little bit. And like, he just wham, went at it like a missile. And it's so hard not to come out of your shoes and set the hook on that light line. Golly, it was a big one. Dadgummit. I say a big one. It was like a 4.5, 5 pounder. Got up here shallow and they're little. That's weird. A lot of times you get shallow, they get bigger. I got up here shallow and they've gotten little. One thing to keep in mind, you know, I don't feel like you have to make smallmouth bite. So use that to your advantage. You know, cover water, put the wind behind your back. You know, that's why it's a 1-2 punch. That's why I've got moving baits until I find them. You know, I'm just gonna drift across this whole flat. We had a few bites right up there. You know, there's gotta be an area out here with some more fish, bigger fish. So it's a deal about covering water. The one mistake you could make is just going too slow. Oh my goodness! Look at this one. Holy smokes! Did you see how high it jumped? That thing had to jump 5 feet! Golly, I want to catch that fish. I gotta go back here, guys. I gotta go back here. Golly, that's a big one. That is a monster. I just hit the power lock. Golly, did you see how high he jumped? Oh man. Yes, yes, yes. That's why you love it. I've never had a largemouth jump that high. Ever. Oh. Yes. That is so cool. Oh, man, just the mistake I can make here is just to try to yank them in, you know. I got light line on there. You notice I'm back reeling. I just backed my drag off just in case he makes a surge there at the very end, you know. They're so acrobatic, so acrobatic. Oh man, fish, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a one-of-a-kind fish. You know, I've been to the Amazon, I've caught peacock bass, I've caught largemouth, spotted bass. There's not another one like this one. Not another one, never, they're just not. They're just not. I don't care what anybody says. This is a special fish. Come on, buddy, come here. You've got to be tiring out just a little. Golly, he just smoked that thing. Smoked it. Oh, come on, bud. Come on up here, come on up here. Come on, look at that one. That is a giant. That is a giant. Golly. Come here, fish. Come here. Gotcha. Look at that big old fish. Would you? That is a big one. That is a big one. A big one, a big one. Oh, look at that thing. I had him hooked good too. Yes, yes, yes. What a perfect specimen. They are just so awesome, guys. I just love them. Yes. Oh, that is so cool. Just so cool, so cool. All right, man. Thank you, girl. What an awesome fish catch. That thing, it's like they give their life up to fight, you know, like it is just such a cool, oh, look at that, my line just broke. She had me down in them rocks. They just give everything they got. Just, oh, it's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So it seems like today, you know, the little hair jig, for whatever reason, is outperforming, you know, my swim bait or my jerk bait, you know, and some days it may be a crankbait, some days it may be a spinner bait. You've got to determine that when you go out there for, you know, your number one bait, your moving bait, what that is on that given day. It could be any one of them. So what I like to do, you know, once I've caught a fish like that, I'm gonna drop a waypoint right there on the Lowrance, just because this is such a broad area. There's nothing for me to relate to out here, you know, and after I've made this drift, you know, I can come right back through this area, and then as you start catching fish and start making waypoints, you're gonna find an area out here that's got the fish for that day. With smallmouth being so much of a sight feeder, you know, they rely on their eyeballs over a largemouth to feed and to hunt. With that said, I really think they relate to edges. Like that fish right there, I've got a really smooth rock, then it goes to broken rock right there, and it's created an edge. It's like a fence row in deer hunting. So keep that in mind when you're out there. You know, look for those edges, whether it's a sand to grass, rock to smooth rock, rock to sand. Find those edges and key in on those. I'll never pass up throwing at a big isolated rock. A lot of times the bigger the rock, the bigger the bass. You know, you got to think about these lakes have a lot of current. You know, one, just natural current, and two, wind-driven current. And if I start catching ones like that size, I'm in the wrong area, so you've got to move. It's just, you're not gonna catch a big one, I don't think, around little ones a lot of times. I feel like I just got to get a little deeper or move, you know, 100 yards. That's not a good sign when you catch little ones. But it tugged on my line, I'm not gonna grab it. A bunch of isolated rocks right here, and generally that's what you want. I mean, just big isolated rocks that stick a couple feet up off the bottom. Not a giant, but a fish. Isolated rocks. There's quite a few of them in here. I've just been passing them up, trying to get up to these bulrushes up here. Man, they fight hard. Isn't that awesome? Come on, buddy, quit. Quit. Get up there. Might need to go back and fish a few of those isolated rocks back through there. It's really the first one I threw at. Ow. Quit. Gotcha. Right in the nose. So much of everything when you're fishing this way, you know, you can go back and find on Google Earth. You know, every spot that I fished today is something that I've seen on my phone. You know, I really didn't spend a lot of time studying like on a computer like I would for a tournament. But you know, you guys go back and watch that video where I really teach you about Google Earth, because you could put a waypoint on every isolated rock out here on this flat and really make your day a lot easier, where you're not having to search for it. You can just go from rock to rock to rock. There's one. A little one. What is the deal? Hold still. There you go. First one on the old swim bait though. There's another one. Little one. Got just an extended flat that comes out right here. Some scattered rocks on it. Just got little ones on it so far. It's gotten so windy, the part two of my 1-2 punch, I can't hardly do any of them. As much wind is blowing, all I can do is the moving baits, you know. They're knocking the snot out of it. They're just little. Same size. There's a pile of them right there though. I think what's happening, a lot of these fish are already starting to move out. I feel like when I start to catch little ones, I feel like the big ones have moved out. You know, they've probably got done spawning last week, the week before, and there's just not a lot of big ones up here. We've caught a few, but not a lot today. So what I would do different is get out deeper and off some of these points, you know, start drop shotting, dragging the tube. Kind of not conducive with all the wind I got today, and the cameraman is starting to get a little seasick on me. I got it. Gosh, it's a big one. Holy smokes. Man, that fish was hard to catch. Golly. Man, I just saw that fish, and it's just a beauty of sunshine. We finally got the sun out here. And I threw back there like with the drop shot. I was right on top of him, didn't do nothing. So then I pick up the wacky general, and I threw it back there and just kept drifting, and I opened my bail and just let it sit there, and then I picked up, and here this big old beaut is. It's a biggin, guys. It is a biggin. Man, I wanted to catch you guys one more. Man, it is getting rough out here. I hate to say it, my camera guy's getting kind of seasick. He hadn't done a lot of this big lake, big water type fishing. We're gonna have to call it quits after this one. Golly, it's a biggin though. It's a biggin. I just love it. They're just so awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Come on, buddy. Come up here and show yourself. Look at that fish. Come here, come here. Oh, I hadn't retied in a little bit, so I don't want to put too much pressure on him. That is so awesome. Man, I think what's happened, you know, I'm kind of disappointed with my numbers today. I thought I'd wreck them. You know, we hadn't been out here but about 3 hours, but still, I thought we'd wreck them. And I've never been here, in my defense, my first time ever, but I think a lot of these fish have spawned. The water temperature is 75.6. That's warm. I thought it'd be cold. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Look at that one. Look at that one. That's a biggin. That's a biggin. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to let you go. I'm gonna let you go. Where did that hook go? Get that out for you. And no damage is done. What a big old fish. Isn't that awesome? All right, I'm gonna let her go, guys. What a beautiful fish. Watch her. Here she goes. Here she goes. Go on. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, man, they fight so hard. Oh, there she took off. There she goes. Man, they fight so hard. They just give it all up. She's gonna be fine. She just had to take a little bit to take a breath. Man, my line's frayed right there. You know, that's what happens a lot of times when they get it deep in their gullet. Those crushers will really tear that line up right there. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, with that said, power stop breakdown. A little bit about what we did today and how to take this to your body of water. You know, when those fish are up shallow and it's a 1-2 punch, you know, it's a bait that you can move. Today for me, it was really that hair jig. I caught some small ones on that swim bait. I threw a jerk bait a little bit, didn't get any bites. You know, it could also be a crankbait. There's times when a crankbait will really work. But then once you find them, or once you see one follow your bait in, you turn around and you throw like that wacky general at them. You know, that bait right there, I just using a little 4-inch wacky general. Or a drop shot will work. You know, if it gets out a little bit deeper, that drop shot will work. Or maybe a Ned rig. You know, those would be my two of my 1-2 punch. So, you know, the baits, the rods that I had them rigged on, 6'9" medium action, 10-pound Bass Pro braid, 8-pound leader, a little 1/0 Berkeley Fusion drop shot hook was the hook for that wacky general. You know, a lot of people call this thing the fly, or, you know, I just call it a hair jig. It's just an Andy synthetic hair jig. 1/8 ounce, 8-pound test. Super light braid here. I got 10-pound braid again. Don't go any bigger. It's gonna be hard to throw. And I've got a 7-1 medium light rod. That rod really helps whip that bait out there and get it out and get some distance on it. You know, they're all rigged on the same platinum reels, but that's my setup. That's what I use when I go to do this stuff. You know, the other bait that was working today that I caught some fish on, where'd it go? Was this bait right here. Just a Berkeley Power Swimmer. Obviously the tail's gone, just a little sexy shad color. I put that on a 1/4 ounce head, works really, really well. Again, 8-pound test, 10-pound leader. Just throw that thing out there, wind it in. I like that color a lot, and then a lot of times I make chartreuse ones. You know, I'll take the sight flash version and I'll put some chartreuse on it with my marker. You know, in those cloudy conditions, that bait right there will work too. So guys, there it is. There's my breakdown of my gear. You've got to have a moving bait, you got to have a bottom bait. You got to get up here and try this sometimes. These are the techniques that work in really clear water. Obviously, the Great Lakes like we are today, you know, the St. Lawrence Seaway, New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin. This technique works in all those northern states where you've got really clear water. Cover some water till you find the fish, then slow down, pick them apart, put them in the boat, guys. I appreciate you guys following along. We'll see you next week right here on Project E.